Little bit of a pre-lesson on I Get a Kick Out You, the Cole Porter jazz standard that we're going to be working on. I'm going to do it in the key of C. And the song's got a fairly simple and very typical jazz structure in that it goes from the 2 chord, minor, to the 5, to the 1. 2, 5, 1. You get lots of that chord progression in jazz. It's one of the most common progressions, okay? But to jazzify those chords, make them much more interesting and sophisticated and more harmonically complex, we're going to make our D minor 7th, okay? There's our 7th. When we go to our 5 chord, which would be a G, we're going to play this version of a G, similar to what we've done in other songs. We're going to move from that D minor 7th and keep our fingers almost in the same place and just flatten both of those by a semitone. And if we put a G in the bass, that gives us a G, 7th with a flat 9th, and just put the 3rd at the top. It's a nice kind of inversion of the chord, because then we fall down to a C major 7th. And again, it's ergonomics more than anything else. We're not having to move our hand too much, especially because we could be playing this with our left hand and freeing up our right hand for slightly more interesting melodic lines, and therefore we don't want to move our hands too much. We don't want to be looking down at our left hand. I'm just playing the right hand now for the sake of the video, okay? But notice how little we have to move our hand. D minor 7th, G 7th with flat 9th, C major 7th. We can kind of feel them almost, close our eyes. Easy to do, and they're quite kind of comfortable changes, okay? Occasionally we might hit the C major 7th, and because we're on it for 2 bars, we can add this little arpeggio at the top, which gives us the major 9th. There's our major 7th note, there's our 9th, okay? And it just adds a little bit of more jazz kind of quality to it. Here's the changes. Embellishments further up the keyboard to add even more kind of tonal interest. Occasionally what we can do as well, which adds an even jazzier quality, a bit more bebop, is put a real chromatic thing in, where just before we go back to the D minor, we can very briefly play the E flat minor, which sounds very dissonant if I play it like that. But in the context, it's not quite so bad. Have a listen, I'll just throw one in. Notice I didn't do it that second time there. It's the sort of thing you don't want to do it every time. It'll become a little bit predictable, but an occasional little bit of dissonance. Basically, we do that 3 times, but on the 3rd one, rather than just resolving back to the C, we go 2 chord, altered 5 chord, then we go to the minor 3, in this case E minor 7th, and to the major 6th chord, but again we're going to embellish it to make it the 7th with a flat 9th, that's an A 7th with a flat 9th. And again, notice the transition's an easy one. We've gone from that to that, then we just move up, and those 2 flatten. Maybe finish on the 6th to suggest that it's like the full stop of the sequence. I'll play the whole sequence together. Over the top of it, you might be able to hear the melody in your heads. It's this rising. Imagine the singer's playing that melody over the top. Okay, I'll sing it, maybe it's a little bit. I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. Tell me, baby, why should it be true? I get a kick out of you. We'd have a little break there for a bass part or a drum fill or something like that. But if we want, I get a kick out of you. Have a little chord vamp there. You could even kind of play a bit of a bass run there in my left hand, which you can't see. I'm just going. I'll play it on the final line. I get a kick out of you. At the end of the song, you might even put the classic Count Basie end in, where basically it goes something a bit like this. So all together.